Friends, let me start with a simple but profound truth. Aging is inevitable, but weakness doesn't have to be. What if I told you that the reason so many men and women lose muscle as they get older is not because they're lazy, and it's not because their bodies just wear out? The real culprit is something most people have never even heard of: anabolic resistance. Now, anabolic resistance is like your body's volume knob for muscle growth, and with age, it gets turned way down. You eat the right foods, you lift the weights, you stay active, yet the signal to build and repair muscle doesn't get through like it used to. And here's the danger: once that resistance sets in, muscle loss accelerates, strength fades, metabolism slows, and what follows is a spiral into frailty, obesity, and disease. But here's the hope: anabolic resistance isn't a life sentence. With the right strategies, nutritional precision, targeted movement, and lifestyle choices, you can flip that switch back on. You can rebuild your strength, protect your independence, and keep the fire of youth alive in your muscles, no matter your age. So today I want to break this down for you, not as theory, but as a roadmap, because understanding anabolic resistance could mean the difference between just getting older and truly living stronger. Imagine training hard, eating well, and doing everything, right? Yet still feeling like your muscles aren't responding the way they used to. For many people, as they get older, that frustration is very real. They believe it's just aging, that their body is broken, or that muscle loss is inevitable. But what if the truth is something much deeper, something hidden that most doctors don't even explain? This hidden roadblock is called anabolic resistance, and it is the silent enemy that stands in the way of muscle growth as we age. Anabolic resistance is the body's reduced ability to build muscle in response to food and exercise. In youth, the body is like a finely tuned machine. When you eat protein or lift weights, the muscles quickly respond, growing stronger and more resilient. But with age, that signal becomes weaker. It's almost as if the muscles stop listening. The same workout that once built size and strength now barely maintains it. The same protein-rich meal that once fueled recovery now doesn't deliver the same results. This silent resistance creeps in slowly and because it doesn't cause pain or an immediate crisis, people ignore it until weakness, fatigue, and frailty become part of their everyday life. The danger is that anabolic resistance does not only mean smaller muscles, it means a weaker you. Muscles are not just for strength. They are metabolic engines that regulate blood sugar, burn fat, and protect against disease. When anabolic resistance blocks growth, the muscles shrink, and with them goes your metabolism. Energy drops, fat accumulates, and health risks climb. Aging, in this sense, is not just about years. It's about losing the very tissue that keeps you alive and capable. And all the while, anabolic resistance quietly stands in the background, holding you back. But here is the empowering truth: anabolic resistance is not destiny. It can be fought. It can be reversed. The first step is awareness. The very fact that you now know this barrier exists gives you an edge most people never have. Because once you recognize the hidden enemy, you can strategize against it. Protein becomes more than just food. It becomes medicine. Exercise becomes more than just movement. It becomes therapy. And lifestyle choices like sleep and stress management are no longer luxuries. They become tools to switch your body's muscle-building machinery back on. Every repetition you perform in the gym, every high-quality protein meal you choose, and every night of deep, restorative sleep is a vote against anabolic resistance. Each one tells your body, I am not done growing. I am not done being strong. The muscles may resist at first, but they are listening. With consistency, they respond. This is not about becoming a bodybuilder. It's about reclaiming vitality, independence, and the ability to do the things you love. It's about carrying your own groceries, playing with your grandchildren, or simply standing tall with confidence well into old age. Anabolic resistance may be silent, but it is not unbeatable. And the greatest tragedy is not that it exists. The tragedy is that most people never learn about it until it's too late. But you are here, listening, and that means you have the chance to break the silence. You have the chance to turn resistance into resilience, weakness into strength, and aging into an opportunity for growth. The roadblock is real, but so is your power to overcome it. And when you do, you'll discover that muscle, energy, and vitality don't have to fade with age. They can thrive if you choose to fight back. When most people think about muscle, they think about strength, power, or maybe even appearance. But muscle is far more than that. Muscle is life itself. It is the tissue that allows you to move, to stand tall, to carry your own body with dignity. And yet, as we age, we quietly begin to lose it. This loss is not just about shrinking arms or weaker legs. It's a loss that spreads through every corner of our health. Because when we lose muscle, we don't just lose strength. We lose metabolism, energy, and ultimately our independence. Think about it. Strength is what allows you to get out of a chair without help, to climb a flight of stairs without gasping, to pick up your grandchildren with joy instead of fear. Muscle is what gives you confidence in every step, every lift, every movement. But when that muscle fades, the strength goes with it. Suddenly, everyday tasks feel heavier. The body that once felt like an ally starts to feel like a burden. And it doesn't happen overnight. It sneaks up slowly, year after year, until you wake up one day and realize that what used to be easy now feels impossible. But strength is only the beginning of what's lost. Muscle is also the largest organ of metabolism in the body. It is where glucose is stored and burned, where calories are put to work, where fat is kept in check. When muscle is lost, the furnace of metabolism dims. Calories that once would have been burned off are now stored as fat. Blood sugar that once was controlled now spikes and lingers, increasing the risk of diabetes and obesity. Energy levels plummet, not because of age itself, but because the metabolic machinery, your muscle, has been stripped away. Losing muscle means losing the very tissue that keeps your engine running efficiently. And then comes the greatest cost of all, the loss of independence. Independence is not measured by age, but by ability. Can you walk on your own? Can you carry your groceries? Can you rise from the floor without help? These are the true markers of freedom in life. The harsh reality is that when muscle declines, dependence rises. People who once lived vibrantly begin to rely on canes, walkers, or the arms of others. And with that loss of independence comes a loss of confidence, dignity, and even joy. It is not just physical, it is emotional, spiritual, and deeply human. The good news is that this loss is not inevitable. Muscle is one of the most adaptable tissues in the human body. It responds when challenged. It grows when fed properly. It thrives when cared for. Every time you lift something heavy, every time you push your body with resistance, every time you fuel it with the right nutrients, you send a powerful message: I will not surrender my strength, my metabolism, or my independence. The body listens, and it responds. It is never too late to fight back. Imagine yourself 10, 20, or 30 years from now. Do you see yourself strong, capable, moving freely, living on your own terms? That vision is possible, but it starts with a decision today. The loss of muscle does not have to define your future. You can choose to build it, protect it, and preserve it. Because muscle is not just about looking fit, it's about living free. Losing it means losing your strength, your metabolism, and your independence. But keeping it means keeping the most important thing of all, your ability to live life fully, powerfully, and without limits. When it comes to overcoming anabolic resistance, one of the most overlooked yet powerful tools is protein. Not just the amount of protein, but the quality of that protein and the timing of when you consume it. Many people assume that eating enough protein is the solution, but the truth is more nuanced. As we age, the body doesn't respond to protein the way it once did. The very signals that tell your muscles to grow and repair become muted. That means what worked in your 20s may no longer be enough in your 40s, 50s, and beyond. To break through this resistance, protein must be consumed strategically, both in quality and in timing. Let's talk about quality first. All proteins are not created equal. Proteins differ in their amino acid profiles, and it is amino acids, especially leucine, that trigger muscle growth. Leucine acts like the ignition key in a car. Without it, the engine doesn't start, and without enough of it, the muscle building process remains silent. High-quality proteins, like those from eggs, dairy, fish, and lean meats, are rich in leucine and other essential amino acids that directly stimulate muscle protein synthesis. In contrast, many plant-based proteins, while beneficial, often lack the same concentration of these critical amino acids. This doesn't mean plants are ineffective. It simply means that if you rely on them, you must be intentional, combining different sources or increasing the overall intake to reach that muscle-building threshold. Then there's timing. This is where most people unknowingly fall short. You cannot simply cram all your protein into one meal and expect your body to use it effectively. Muscles respond best to a steady, strategic supply of protein across the day. Think of it like fueling a fire. If you throw all the wood on at once, much of it burns inefficiently. But if you feed the fire consistently, it burns hotter and longer. The same is true for your muscles. Distributing protein evenly, about every 3 to 4 hours, ensures that your body gets repeated signals to grow and repair. Missing these windows is like leaving your muscles unfed and expecting them to thrive. They simply won't. There is also the importance of timing protein after resistance training. Exercise sensitizes the muscles, making them more receptive to nutrients. This is your golden window where protein works most efficiently to stimulate growth and repair. Waiting too long to eat after training is like watering a plant hours after it has wilted. The opportunity is missed. By prioritizing protein in this window, you amplify the muscle-building response and push back against the barrier of anabolic resistance. But the story doesn't end with workouts. Even in rest, the body constantly turns over muscle tissue, breaking it down and rebuilding it. With age, the breakdown begins to outpace the rebuilding. This is why daily consistency matters. Each meal becomes a chance to reset the balance in your favor. Each bite of high-quality protein at the right time becomes a weapon in the fight against muscle loss. It's not just about how much you eat, it's about making every meal count toward growth. So, if anabolic resistance is the silent enemy, protein is the language your body understands to fight back. Not random protein, not forgotten meals, not late-night binges, but deliberate, high-quality protein spread strategically through your day. When you master this, you flip the switch from decline to growth. You tell your body, I am still capable of building, I am still capable of strength, I am still in control, and the body listens. The quality and timing of protein are no longer small details, they are critical strategies. They are the difference between watching your strength fade and watching it return. They are the fuel that can overcome resistance, reignite muscle growth, wit, and preserve the vitality that aging so often tries to steal. Protein chosen wisely and timed intentionally becomes not just food. It becomes your medicine, your weapon, and your pathway back to strength. Aging is often described as a process of decline. Slower movements, weaker muscles, reduced energy, and eventually dependence on others. But what if aging didn't have to look like that? What if there was a proven, powerful medicine that could slow down, even reverse, many of the so-called inevitable consequences of growing older? That medicine is not found in a pill, nor in a prescription bottle. It is found in the deliberate act of moving your body against resistance. Strength training is not optional. It is the primary medicine against aging. Unlike other forms of exercise, strength training directly targets the loss of muscle and bone density that accelerates with age. Muscle is not just a bonus for athletes or bodybuilders. It is essential tissue for every human being. It is what keeps you standing tall, what allows you to move with confidence, what protects your joints, and what fuels your metabolism. Without strength training, muscle and bone steadily decline. This is why so many older adults experience frailty, falls, and fractures. The truth is not that they are simply old, but that they have been dosed on the very medicine that could have preserved their strength. Resistance training. Strength training is more than building muscle. It is a shield for your entire body. When you lift weights, push, pull, squat, or perform any kind of resistance exercise, you send a powerful signal to your muscles and bones: stay alive, stay strong, stay ready. This signal doesn't just maintain what you have, it triggers growth, adaptation, and resilience. It strengthens the heart, improves insulin sensitivity, lowers inflammation, and even boosts brain health. No pharmaceutical drug can touch this range of benefits. And yet, so many people skip it thinking walking or light cardio is enough. Cardio is valuable, yes, but it does not prevent the slow wasting of muscle that leads to frailty. Only strength training does that. Think about independence. The ability to carry groceries, to climb stairs, to rise from the floor without help. These are the real markers of freedom. Every rep in the gym, every set with resistance bands, every moment you challenge your muscles is an investment in keeping that freedom. Without strength training, you gradually outsource your independence to others: a cane, a walker, a caregiver. With it, you build not just muscle but confidence, vitality, and the assurance that you can live on your own terms for decades to come. Strength training also acts as a time machine for metabolism. One of the reasons aging often leads to weight gain is because muscle mass shrinks. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. It burns calories even when you're sitting still. The more muscle you have, the higher your resting metabolism, and the easier it becomes to maintain a healthy body composition. Without strength training, metabolism slows, fat accumulates, and energy dwindles. With it, you keep the fire burning, no matter your age. Perhaps the most powerful part of strength training is the message it sends to your mind. Every time you push against resistance, you confront challenge, you learn that you can struggle, you can push, and you can grow. This mental resilience is just as important as the physical changes. It teaches you that aging is not about giving up, it's about getting stronger. So, if there were one prescription I could give to every person who wants to age well, it would not be a pill. It would be a program of progressive strength training. The weights don't care how old you are. The bands don't care what decade of life you're in. Your body can respond at 20, at 40, at 70, and even at 90. The science is clear. Strength training is the most effective medicine to slow aging, to preserve independence, and to protect your future. You can choose to let aging strip away your vitality, or you can choose to fight back with the only proven therapy that truly works. Strength training is not optional. It is your daily prescription for strength, for health, and for freedom. And the sooner you start, the longer you keep the gift of living life on your terms. When most people think about building muscle, their minds go straight to the gym or to protein shakes. They imagine hours of lifting weights or hitting their protein goals as the keys to strength and growth. And while those things are absolutely essential, they are not the full story. What so many overlook are the hidden factors outside of the gym, the hours you spend sleeping, the stress you carry through your day, and the way your body handles insulin. These lifestyle factors are not small details. They are the foundation. Without them, the best workout and the cleanest diet cannot deliver the results you want. Sleep, stress management, and insulin control are the switches that reset your body's ability to grow muscle. Start with sleep. Sleep is not rest, it is repair. It is in the deepest stages of sleep that growth hormone and testosterone peak, the very hormones that drive muscle recovery and rebuilding. You can lift the heaviest weights, but if you cut your sleep short, you rob your body of the chance to actually grow stronger. Sleep deprivation blunts protein synthesis, weakens recovery, and leaves you in a constant state of fatigue. Think about it. The gym is where you break the muscle down, but sleep is where you build it back up. Every missed hour is like skipping a workout in reverse. If you want your body to respond to training and nutrition, then honoring sleep is not optional. It is your most powerful recovery tool. Now, consider stress. With modern life bombards us with constant tension, work deadlines, financial worries, family responsibilities. And when stress becomes chronic, the hormone cortisol stays elevated. Cortisol is not the enemy in small bursts. It helps us respond to challenges. But when it lingers day after day, it becomes destructive. It eats away at muscle tissue, encourages fat storage, and interferes with the very hormonal signals needed for growth. Stress tells the body to survive, not to thrive. It shifts resources away from building muscle toward conserving energy. If you don't take steps to manage stress, through mindfulness, breathing, relaxation, or even simply taking breaks, you will always be fighting uphill against your own biology. And then there is insulin control. Insulin is often misunderstood. It is not just a sugar hormone. It is also a growth hormone, helping nutrients get into muscle cells where they are needed. But in a state of insulin resistance, when the body is bombarded with constant high blood sugar from processed foods and poor eating patterns, the signal weakens. Muscles stop listening. Instead of being nourished, they are starved. Fat cells grow, muscles shrink, and anabolic resistance deepens. Controlling insulin through smart food choices, balanced meals, and avoiding constant snacking restores the body's sensitivity. It allows protein and energy to flow where they are needed most, into the muscle, not into fat storage. When sleep is restored, stress is managed, and insulin is controlled, the body shifts from a state of breakdown to a state of growth. Suddenly, the protein you eat works more effectively. The workouts you do create greater adaptation. The energy you feel rises, and the results become visible. It is as though you've removed the brakes from your system, allowing your hard work to finally pay off. These lifestyle factors don't just add to the process of muscle building, they unlock it. So ask yourself, are you only focusing on the gym and the plate while ignoring the bed, the breath, and the blood sugar? Because the truth is, muscle is not built in isolation. It is built in the synergy of all these elements working together. Lifestyle is the soil, training and nutrition are the seeds, and strength is the harvest. If the soil is poor, the seeds cannot grow. But when the soil is rich, when sleep, stress, and insulin are optimized, growth becomes inevitable. Aging may try to strip you of your strength, but lifestyle gives you the power to fight back. Sleep like it matters, because it does. Manage stress like your future depends on it, because it does. Control insulin like your muscles are listening, because they are. These are not small adjustments. They are the reset button that allows your body to grow muscle, recover fully, and remain strong for a lifetime.